welcome to Imagination Station. Before we get started, as usual, all of us are going to do it. My name is Nikita. I work at the Dogwood Branch Library and I'm the youth librarian there, the Dogwood Branch. The story I'll be reading today is The Infamous Ratsos. This book is by LaReau and the illustrator is Matt Myers. And the illustrator, the person who drew the pictures, they're really great pictures. They're in black and white, but you're becoming big boys and girls, so you'll really enjoy this book, okay? This also has a medal on it. It has a Dr. Seuss medal on it. So this is a very good book. I really enjoyed reading it, and I'm hoping that you'll enjoy it as I read it to you. The famous Ratsos. The infamous Ratsos. And the person who wrote the book says that it's for his grandfather, the original Raffy, and for Bruce, his childhood conspirator in nefarious deeds. So he wrote it for his grandfather who got in trouble all the time, and also for his friend who got in trouble with him all the time. Chapter 1, Hang Tough. This is Louis Ratso. This is Raffy Ratso. The Ratso brothers live in the big city. They live in this apartment with their father, Big Lou. There are two kinds of people in this world, Big Lou likes to say. Those who are tough and those who are soft. Big Lou is tough, tough, tough. He drives a truck and a forklift and sometimes a snowplow. He hardly ever smiles. As for the Ratso brothers' mother, she's been gone for a little while now, which is very sad. The Ratso brothers don't like to think about Mama Ratso. Big Lou doesn't like to think about Mama Ratso either. Hang tough, he grumbles each morning as he leaves for work, slamming the door behind him. Chapter 2. Hats off. After Big Lou leaves for work each morning, the Ratso brothers go to school. Louis is in the 5th grade and Raffy is in the 3rd. They walk to school because walking is tough. Taking the bus is for softies. The Ratso brothers don't talk very much on their way to school. Talking a lot is also for softies. Their father hardly ever talks at all. Big Lou is a man of action, not words. Let's do something, Louis says to Raffy. Something to make us look tough. Like what? Raffy asks. Leave the thinking to me, says Louis. He considers himself the smart one. At recess, Louis and Raffy meet on the playground. They lean against the wall and they glare at everyone and take turns spitting on the blacktop. Leaning and glaring and spitting are tough. Running and playing are for softies. Chad Badgerton is wearing a new hat today. It is red and it is too small for his head. Louis has an idea. We'd look tough if we took Chad's hat, he suggests. Chad is bigger than we are, Raffy reminds him. A lot bigger. Well, there are 2 of us and only 1 of him. Right-o, Raffy says. He gives his brother a nod. Raffy distracts Chad while Louis jumps up and swipes the hat from his head. Hey, cries Chad. You can't do that. We just did, shout the Ratso brothers. Naya, Naya. I think I feel tougher, said Raffy. My head is about to feel warmer, that's for sure, says Louis. But before he can put it on the hat, Tiny Crawley comes running over along with Miss Beavers, the 3rd grade teacher. You rescued my hat, Tiny exclaims. He takes it from Louis. Your hat, the Ratso brother says. Chad took it from me on the bus, Tiny said. He's a big bully. That was nice of you boys sticking up for Tiny, said Miss Beaver. We're not nice, we're tough, Louis tries to explain. Nah, Raffy repeats, but no one is listening. Instead, everyone on the playground is looking at the Ratso brothers like they're heroes. Everyone except for Chad Badgerton, who is on his way to the principal's office. I wish we were going to the principal's office, Raffy says. We need to step up our game, decides Louis. The snow job. When the Ratso brothers wake up, it's snowing. Everything in the big city looks like it's draped in white sheets. No school today, says Big Lou. The buses can't get down the roads. Buses are for softies, says Louie. I'm off to do some snow plowing, grumbles Big Lou. Hang tough and try not to get into too much trouble while I'm gone. He slams the door behind him. I have an idea, says Louie. How much trouble will it get us into? Asks Ralphie. Plenty. Let's go. The Ratsos brothers put on their snow pants and coats and gloves and boots and scarves and hats. They grab their shovels and go outside. It is still snowing. I can't see, says Ralphie. What's the plan? The plan is that we shovel all the snow from the sidewalk and pile it all up in front of Mr. O'Hare's store. When he comes down for work this morning, he won't be able to open the door. That's mean, says Ralphie. That's tough, says Louie. Right-o, Ralphie says, cracking his knuckles. Let's make some trouble. The Ratsos brothers go out to the sidewalk and begin shoveling. They shovel and shovel and shovel. Even when the snow starts falling so heavily, they can't see a thing. This is hard work, says Ralphie. It will make us tougher, says Louie. Keep shoveling. This way. No, this way, says Louie. I'm pretty sure it's this way, says Ralphie. I'm pretty sure I'm the big brother, says Louie, and it's this way. The brothers shovel and shovel until they can't shovel anymore. They fall back into a snowdrift. I'm tired, Ralphie says with a yawn. Me too, admits Louie. Soon, the Ratsos brothers are asleep. Why, you boys are as good as gold, a voice exclaims. What? Says Louie. He nudges Ralphie awake. Mr. O'Hare's in the doorway of his store, tears forming in his eyes. It would have taken me all day to shovel that. I'm going to tell every one of my customers how thoughtful you are. We're not thoughtful, we're tough, insists Louie. But Mr. O'Hare isn't listening. He's already open for business with a little extra spring in his step. How did he get out? Asks Ralphie. We ended up shoveling all the snow away from Mr. O'Hare's door instead of towards it, Louie explains. Somehow we got turned around. Somehow, says Ralphie. Oh, don't worry. I'm sure another idea will come to me. Sure, big brother, says Ralphie. The Ratsos brothers trudge home. They spend the day shivering in front of the heater in their long johns and drinking hot chocolate. The Fluffy Special. This is Florinda Rabisky. She just moved to the big city, Mr. Ferretti announces to his students, including Louie. I like to be called Fluffy, Florinda says meekly, looking at the floor. Her name sounds funny, and she looks weird, says Chad Badgerton. At lunch, no one sits with Fluffy Rabisky. She picks up her lunch of lettuce and raw vegetables and carrot juice. She seems sad and lonely. As always, the Ratsos brothers sit together and eat their cheddar cheese sandwiches. Check out the new girl, says Louie. She smells like carrots, says Ralphie. Her name is Fluffy Rabisky. She seems like a softie, says Louie. Even her name sounds soft. He wrinkles his nose and then he reaches into his brains and picks out another tough idea. That night before they go to bed, the Ratsos brothers make their cheddar cheese sandwiches for the next day. They also make a very special sandwich piled high with the worst food they can find in their refrigerator. Fluffy Rabisky is in for a big, stinky surprise, Louie says. At lunch the next day, Fluffy Rabisky is about to sit by herself. Again, when Ralphie gives her whistle, Louie passes the seat next to him. Why don't you eat with us, he suggests. Thank you, says Fluffy. She sits down and quietly takes out her sad little lunch of lettuce and raw vegetables and carrot juice. We thought you might like a real big city treat, Louie says, pushing the sandwich in front of her. We call it the Fluffy Special. We made it just for you. Fluffy unwraps the sandwich and takes a sniff. Her eyes grow wide. Ralphie doesn't know whether to laugh or pinch his nose. The sandwich smells beyond awful. But then Fluffy Rabisky grabs the sandwich with both paws and takes a huge bite. She says, swallowing. Pickled mushrooms and beets and eggplant, just like my Nana used to make. How did you know? We didn't, Louie says, but Fluffy is too busy enjoying her sandwich to care. When she finishes, she pats her belly and looks at the Ratsos brothers with shining eyes. I've been missing my old house and my Nana since we moved here. You two are the first to make me feel at home. I can't wait to tell everyone how generous you've been to me. We're not generous. We're tough, Louie insists. But Fluffy Rat Biscuit is not listening. She's licking her lips, still tasting that sandwich. Is this seat taken? Asks Tiny Crawley, sliding in next to Fluffy. Louie throws up his hands. Maybe I should come up with the next idea, suggests Ralphie. And unfortunately, we could not finish the story. We're already over time. But this is an excellent story by Carla LaReau. You are more than welcome to come and borrow it from us. Right now, we only have it in hard copy. She has 2 other books out by about the Ratsos brothers. That includes the Ratsos Camp Out. That just came out this year. And Infinite Ratsos Are Not Afraid. We also have read-alikes I want to introduce you to quickly that you might want to look into for your children if they enjoy these kind of stories. Of course, the Pigeon Needs a Bath. Always an excellent story to share with kids. And that's by Mo Willems. Splat the Cat Sings Flat. And this is by Rob Scotton. Tony Baloney Pen Pal. And this one is by Pam Knowles Ryan and Edwin Fotheringham. And finally, Fly Guy and the Aliens. Give this a shot, and all these books are really good. This one is by Ted Arnold. If they're not online, we definitely have them inside, and we're doing curbside service at the library. I hope you guys go ahead. I hope you guys enjoyed the story, and I hope you go ahead and request this one to finish it. All right, then. I have enjoyed reading to you guys from Imagination Station. Hope you have a great day.